Hey Squirts! So remember years, decades, maybe a few months ago when I'd find an old point and shoot camera at a thrift store that I'd film in it and then open it up and see if there's pictures on it? Yeah, I haven't done one of those videos in a while because, I haven't been thrifting much. However, as luck would have it, I have come across a point and shoot, a Minolta Sightseer Zoom AF date, which, as you can see, has a roll of Kodak Max 400. So welcome back. We're gonna crack this bad boy open and see if we got ourselves some anonymous photos on it. And shout out to my good local fan Paul for finding this and bringing it over and dropping it off on my porch. Without him, this video wouldn't be happening. So thanks, Paul. So I actually don't really know anything about this camera. It appears to be what I've called in the past as mom tier. You know, your basic zoom lens, not that fast, The data back still appears to have some juice in it, but the power doesn't work, so as you can see, we've got a 123 battery, which here expired in March 2013. So before I can see if this camera works, I gotta go see if I can find one of these batteries. I'll be right back. What battery do you have? None. And how about this camera? CR2. Stylus Epic, don't let me down. Canon Sure Shot Owl. The old Olympus MJU. Can I borrow your camera? Can I? Your other Olympus Epic, the 170 zoom. Does it have a battery, Smokey? 132A. Is that the same as 132? I think we got one. Got one. Let's load it up and see if this camera still works and if it'll tell us if any of these pictures have been exposed yet. Battery in. Yes! The 123A does fit. And now the moment of amazement. Oh, it's down here. Ooh. I saw some red. So we got a 35mm to 70mm zoom. Oh. The counter says 17. But does that go up or does that go down? Let's take a picture and find out. You can do it. Why aren't you doing it? Come on. Come on. Come on. It makes a green light when I push the button, and this red light comes on. I guess it just wasn't ready and I was facing the camera. But oh, it went up to 18, which means 6 more exposures, and I think we got some magic on here. So let's go burn this roll off. Now this is fine art. This camera hates me. Oh, you coming to take a floor selfie with me, Smokey? Huh? Come here. Come here. Cat floor selfie. Oh. Get off me. Exposure 24. Let's shoot it and hear this thing scream. Ready? Okay, you can stop anytime now. Good lord, that was the longest rewind I've ever experienced on one of these cameras. Well, time to the dev tank. I wish my water heater would shut the hell up. Isn't technology great? Okay, the moment of truth. Yes, I said tooth. See if we got any mystery photos. Oh, these are some dark negatives, but I do see stuff. Okay, so there's stuff I took. Oh. Oh, let's see, we got, looks like some people at a bar. Okay, there are a few photos on here. A lot of them look really underexposed, so I probably won't be able to pull an image out of them, but 6 or 7 usable pictures on here, so let's hang these up to dry and we'll hit these tomorrow when they are dry. So the negatives have dried, and as you can see, being old, they have turned quite green, which I'm not sure I've seen such a nice green color on these old, rotted, expired negatives before. But also, it was time for that annual winter lesson where when you dry your film in a room with low humidity, they curl real bad. Alright, I have developed and scanned these photos. It is now time for us to look at them. And also of note, as the really green cast in these photos made the color just kind of be toasted, so I didn't really make any attempt to salvage the color. Get that retro, ugly, rotted film look that the kids are crazy for these days. Ready? Let's go! So, first up we got this picture of a tree in bloom. Isn't that nice? Doesn't really tell us anything about the location. I mean, the trees, it looks like the upper Midwest. Who knows? There is a date stamp in the corner that says 1998, but as I've gone over previously in these found photo videos, I don't really trust that timestamp down there. And I will cover that a little bit later in a different photo on why I think this 1998 timestamp is bogus. So here you go, first picture, a nice tree in bloom. Let's move on to our next photo. So here we have a little girl who looks like she just got done at a dance recital. There were a bunch of other photos that I didn't scan because they were just barely visible in the negatives of what appeared to be the parents or grandparents taking a picture of like all these kids on a stage, but the little point and shoot camera couldn't really handle the low light, so it's just like not salvageable photos. You need a bigger flash or a better camera to take the pictures they tried to take with the little sightseer indoors. Okay, so that leaves the 2 best photos of this roll. Let's get into them. First up, we got this dude in a cowboy hat trying to do that typical, like, gotta lean out of the photo, except the camera's lens is so wide that you don't quite get out of it. Oops. But it's a nice photo of a bar scene. Can't tell where it's taken. There's nothing legible on the signs in the background to give any sense of location of what state this might have been in. I mean, obviously it's a cowboy hat. It's gotta be taken in Texas, but can't prove that, so here we go. We got a picture of 2 guys drinking their beer. And this brings us to the final photo off the roll that I'm going to share with you. Another scene taken in the bar. It says 1998, but if we look close, we see this camera right here, which is not a camera from 1998. This camera appears to be the Sony CyberShot DSC P100, which, according to some research real quick, was released in 2004. So that tells me that indeed this timestamp is wrong unless they're time travelers and picked up a camera from 6 years in the future. So we know that at least this photo was taken as early as 2004. But what else can we look at to figure out, maybe pin the date down a little closer? I was thinking that, like, the woman smoking. To me, smoking in a bar is something that is weird now, because in Minnesota, it was banned in 2007, and right across the border in Wisconsin, it was banned in 2010. But as I've shown many times in these videos, just because I found the camera in Minnesota doesn't mean that's where the pictures were taken. So this could be anywhere in the US that still no longer has a smoking ban. So can't really pin it off that. However, the one last thing I want to look at, I'll go back to that timestamp, okay? The timestamp here says July 26, 1998. If we flip back to the selfies I took a few days ago, it says December 1st, 2014. So what I'm thinking is that since the LCD for the date timestamp is still active on this camera, I'm going to assume that no one has reset the date on this and the battery hasn't conked out since those pictures were taken. So you do a little date math, and 2014 minus 1998 equals a 16-year difference, well, 16 and a half. It's currently the end of November. When was 16 and a half years ago? Why? Spring 2004, right when that tree would have been in bloom, and I think it's really, really likely these pictures were taken in 2004 based off that timestamp. But again, absolutely no way to absolutely prove that, so it's just an idea. Well, there we go. We have 4 more pictures in our found film family, and that's really all I got covering the Minolta Sightseer Zoom here. Maybe, who knows, maybe I'll take it out in a photo walk someday and you'll see it again. But probably not, because I know how I am when I make promises of what kind of videos I'm going to make. So if you like this video, somewhere on the screen should be a link to a playlist with more videos just like it, where I find old photos and found point-and-shoot cameras. So keep on watching and subscribe your little head off.